This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free-form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Don't at me, Jock.
Don't at me, Mike.
It's what is today? Friday.
Today
Valentine's
is
Day.
Friday, the 14th, Valentine's Day. Yes, sir.
This is America at its best. Capitalism 101.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day. How you feeling about Valentine's Day?
I mean, it's cool, man. Honestly, it's just a over commercialized like holiday, just to like get people to spend more money. Personally, like you should be able to do Valentine's like every day. You know, if that person is like special to you, like that's my take on it. Like,
It's like,
but
American...
women they want to feel special because keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, everybody else is going out, so I want to go out too. And it's like, babe, we can do this shit any other day. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's like less crowded. But just my take on it.
It's true. I mean, everywhere you go, it's crowded as hell. A lot of places will have like that limited menu where it's like, we have 5 things today, and you're like, shit, none of these sound great. Every time you get it, it's like kind of cold, poor quality, and because they're so busy, it takes forever. And it's like 2/3 the size of the normal entree, but like 2/3 extra the price. It's just like ridiculous. Then you got boxes of chocolate, flowers, and it becomes a competition. Well, oh, they got flowers. You send me flowers?
Yep, it's a lot.
It's pressure.
It is pressure.
It's just, hey, here's another thing that we can bank off of. Here's another thing that we can make money off of. And
Which they do, and they still going to keep making money, like, forever, so.
We love to make occasions out of everything, Like, oh, it's National Siblings Day. Everything's National Donut Day or some shit, Hey, this is the day you show love to somebody. Yeah, let's do it. And then...
Is there a National Dick Pic Day? Can you imagine? I bet it is, too. I used to be the king of that shit back in the day.
Bombs away.
Well, let me tell you, I didn't even give nobody warnings, too. I used to send that shit because I was bored.
That was a tap on the shoulder. They're like, what?
Yeah, like, what? Because, in my mind at the time, I felt like if I send a dick pic, they're going to want to fuck me when they see, like, the size of my shit, But, boy, was I fucking wrong. Like, ew. Remember, girl was like, it looked like it stinks. I was like, what? How you look at some shit and say it looks like it stinks?
Yeah, just hating. But I think it's they feel repulsed by, like, the uninvited.
Yeah. And, bro, I used to laugh so fucking hard, though. Like, just their reactions. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I don't know. Shit was hilarious.
It's illegal now.
Yeah, you can go to jail, for real. So, yeah, all the listeners out there, you can't send any more dick pics if you live in Texas.
Valentine's Day. I mean, look, I'm probably still going to end up going out. I'm married. I guess I kind of have to. But, yeah, man, like, I was on Twitter the other day, and I guess I missed one of the trending stories. Somebody that gets no love, Kevin Durant. He's back in the news. It's funny. He always wants to talk about, I'm tired of everybody talking about this, and when I left, and da-da-da-da, yada, 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 blase, blase. And yet the motherfucker's on every podcast talking about it. Fielding interviews, telling him the whole story, the whole nine.
Yeah, and about that, man, like, I just can't respect Kevin Durant anymore, man. I said that in one of the prior podcasts, but just like you said, he's out here bringing this shit up on himself now. I don't feel sorry for him. He'll never get the respect for winning the rings the way that he actually did, because of the way he actually did it, and then with the team that he did it with, and now he's talking shit about the Thunder. Like, nigga, you a fraud, man. I'm sorry, like, that shit's not, you not real. Like, that shit's fugazi. Like, you had Russ, and you trying to, like, yeah, you played a big integral part to, like, that team, of course. Like, we all know that. But don't shit on everybody else, man, because they can't hit fucking threes. Like, that shit's weak.
Well, the funny thing is, too, everybody's reminding him on Twitter, the reason it was trending, people were pointing out the stats from that playoffs, and I think he was the 4th highest three-point shooter on the team in the playoffs. So he's talking about he's the only one that can make threes, yet, when he left, the playoffs when they got beat by the Warriors, he was like fourth. I think he was shooting like 28% or something like that.
Mm.
Like, KD, get off your high horse.
Yeah, I know, bro. You're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not as good as you think you are. I mean, he's pretty fucking good, but you know, what I mean.
He's boy can ball. Boy can ball.
He's a beast.
But it's just like I'm tired of the constant crying. Like, dude, shut up. Quit going on podcasts. He's bored because he ain't playing right now.
He's not
because of the Achilles injury. But it's like, dude.
And do you think like when he does come back and play, that he's going to be the same athlete that he was?
It's a toss up, man. Like in the
with
past,
the Brooklyn Nets at that.
Yeah, I mean, in the past. Injuries like that used to always be fatal. People was, oh, that's a devastating injury. Nowadays,
so fun fact. Speaking of past,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I've been watching like a lot of old school, dunk contests and just games. And Dominique Wilkins, was a fucking beast. And I bring him up because he tore his Achilles tendon and he came back and played better the next year. So not many people know that, but like it's rare. But he was one of the first to do that shit, you know. And he wasn't even on the top 50 of like the greatest players, because he was in the era where, you know, when young Jordan was coming in, Larry Bird was still there. I think Kareem was there too, so he kind of got overlooked. But Dominique was a fucking beast.
Yeah, nah, he had those epic showdowns in the playoffs.
Bro, he was averaging
going head to head with the likes of everybody. You know, Bird, all those.
He was averaging 28 points. You know, per game or that season, and then when he got injured and worked his ass off like Kobe, you know, RIP, he came back and averaged, I think, 29 or 30. Like, who does that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Speaking
just
of Kobe,
amazing.
What do you think gets more credit? Like, these are my two highlights for like looking back. Well, a quick recap. I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan. You know, like I was rooted against him. He always beat my team.
I think we all did. I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan either, but I respected.
He had a lot of bad PR.
The hell out of him.
You know, and I guess you eat that shit up when you're younger, and plus you're like, oh, you're not on my team, so fuck you.
Right.
As I got older, I was like, man, that was kind of childish. I really kind of regret not just admiring his game more. Not really as a fan, but just like, you know, I'm a Brady guy, but Peyton Manning was cold. I respected his game, you know. I wanted to have that. I was like, maybe I should look at it with that same respect. And then once he passed, I felt like devastated. I mean, we already all talked about that.
Everybody did. And like, I'll just remind the reason why we all felt devastated is because Icon, and we watch him grow up from a kid, bro.
Yeah.
From 17, like, and he was everywhere, not just basketball, this commercial, this TV show for, you know, PR. He even made music. So it was always Kobe, like, everywhere. And so, like, he was a part of us. He was like a family member, you know, that was extended family member, if that makes sense. You know, so that's why the world actually felt the way they did. You know, like, I still feel sad. You know, we all still, like, when you see him, it's like, damn, you know, and he has his, I think they're doing the funeral on the 24th. Yeah, 2/24/20. Yep. So like that's gonna be like sad as shit, you know. And I can only imagine what Vanessa is going through, because she tweeted or
she had that
Instagram post or something. I forget which streaming platform it's on, or social media, excuse me. But she's going through it, man. Yeah. She's like, you know, like she
you see it. It's
the messaging exactly, and it's like, can you, like, try to put yourself in that woman's shoes. Like, could you imagine, you know, like losing like your kid and then like your husband, your wife or whatever, you know? It's like, that shit's like, I don't know, man. I just, every time I think about that shit, it gets me like, you know.
It still hurts, man. Yeah. But the reason I bring that up, that sad shit back up, R.I.P. But the reason I brought that up, looking back at his highlights, he's got plenty of memorable highlights.
I didn't even know that he won the dunk contest when he first came in.
Oh, he was cold at dunking, but like he had like an awkward kind of, I don't know, but like I didn't like his. It didn't look as nasty
his
as
positioning.
Others, I'd say. Like,
I got you.
He wasn't the prettiest dunker, but he had athleticism.
I thought he was a pretty dunker, personally.
But his two coldest highlights to me were, one, when he tore his Achilles and he still made the free throws
and walked off.
Yeah, I remember hating like, he didn't tear his Achilles, bullshit. And then he said he did, and I was just like, oh.
Nigga, that shit's tough. Like, he walked off.
Yeah, so he gets all my respect for that. That's number one. Or is number one the time that Matt Barnes like pump faked at his face, and he didn't flinch?
Yeah, he just stayed.
Bro,
there.
I'd have jumped. You wouldn't have jumped. If I get a basketball and I go like this right now,
I would have jumped,
He
bro.
didn't flinch at all.
Yeah,
I was
that's
man,
that
those are
Mamba.
his top 2 highlights to me.
Mamba mentality. So speaking of the Achilles thing, so I remember when he actually tore his Achilles, I felt bad. Like, once again, I wasn't a Kobe fan either, but I felt bad. Like, damn, because like I respected the hell out of him. He was like a family member, blase, blase. So I felt so bad that I emailed Kobe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I emailed him like, hey man, just email. I know you don't know me, you probably won't respond back, but best of luck on your recovery. I got some tips, who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? But I just felt, so at the time I was taking this thing called Lima juice. It's supposed to be like this plant, like organic, it's supposed to have like a bunch of like health benefits. So I told Kobe about that, or whoever was in charge of his account, like, hey, try to take this and it may help out, and I'm praying for you, man, and all that. But I'm bringing that up just because I never did that before for anybody, bro.
Yeah.
Like, not even like my favorite, but with Kobe, I wanted to do that.
The only person I had the desire to do that with, I didn't do that with. But the only one I've ever thought, I want to email him is Kanye West.
Yeah.
So I just want to, just see what his response would be.
Yeah.
Not just to fuck with him, because, I do look, I admire the guy. I think he's very polarizing. But, he's always done what he's wanted to do, and I respect that.
I respect the hell out of that, too.
One of my, core philosophies, I feel like everything really kind of is a choice. Mm-hmm. Happiness is a choice. You can have really tough circumstances. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, everybody should be happy. Mm-hmm. But I feel like for the most part, people can complain about their jobs. They can complain about their commute. Mm-hmm. But you look and really admire the little things, right? And focus on the good. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you really happy, because you appreciate the rituals you build. Like walking my dog is my favorite thing to do. Yep. I eat. I wake up and I eat the same breakfast every day. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I see he does that with hey, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do.
And so that's a good point you bring up, Mike. So I'm gonna get kind of personal here. On a level of changing and making a choice about your situations that you're in. So I actually made a choice 2020. You bring up if you're not happy at work or whatever the fact may be, change your situation. So that's what I did. I left my job that I've been at for 7 years, and that shit was it wasn't supposed to happen the way that I envisioned in my head, but it was supposed to happen, if that makes sense. I knew that in my mind was already made up when I made my decision, So with that, just being out here now, it's kind of bittersweet. It's, what I mean by that is, I have more freedom now to do what I truly want to do, to try to be more creative, to see what other avenues, life has for me. But then it's dang, that's all that I knew for 7 years. So it's hard because, fuck, I still wake up thinking oh, I'm gonna be late for work, and oh shit, I don't work there anymore. You know what I mean? So just it's, and I miss some of the people there, of course, because I feel with jobs, the most thing that I take away is the connections you make and the interactions, that you make with individuals. So that part I'm actually gonna miss, but the actual job itself, I really wasn't happy there, And so back to what you said once again, and to viewers out there, listeners, excuse me, if you're not happy, change your situation. It's much easier than you think. Trust me. You are going to feel uncomfortable, but you want to be uncomfortable. That's how you grow, in life. You want to be comfortable with whatever you're doing, because if you're comfortable, you're not growing at all. So that's my take on that.
It is always the people. I feel that's what you miss the most. Mm-hmm. Anytime you get away from a job or school,
whatever,
you graduate, you always miss the people. you miss the classes and whatnot, but the people are what drive it.
Yeah, because it's just that because me, I like to talk to people, right. I like to communicate, pick people's brains. To me, people are very interesting, how they, think and all that, that to me, that's interesting. So, definitely, I met a lot of, cool different individuals, and not just people that I work with, also customers as well, So just, thinking about all that, but everything in life happens the way it's supposed to happen. We all have seasons that we go through. And so we just have to keep that in mind. And sometimes when seasons happen and come around, people that were there probably won't even be there or have your back like you think. And I said this before on my social media, but, and it's not nothing to get upset about at all. I'm not mad. And if this happens to anybody else, or if you're going through it, you shouldn't be upset either. Just be thankful for people that are in your life, that are being supportive in the whole process. Trust the process with everything.
Yeah, you can get into a rut if you're just doing the same things over and over, and you're not finding joy in it. You know, if you can't find that like little thing that you like about it that you can latch onto and just kind of stick to, that shit can drive you crazy, man.
No, it will drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I know, because it happened to me almost, you know.
But it's crazy. What is crazy is when you do get away from something like that, you feel like lost almost at first.
It's like I said, it's uncomfortable, but it's a good thing. You know, like, it's uncomfortable. It's something new, but then it's like I'm excited. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like, okay, it's a new challenge now. Like, cool, you know.
People always say the cliche, like, "Oh, that's when you really know you get to know yourself. You know who you really are." It's true though, and the reason why it's true, you're gonna have a lot of good thoughts. You're gonna have a lot of bad thoughts. I mean, that's the same for like I said, graduating and missing all your friends, or getting out of a relationship, or quitting a job or whatever.
Right.
You kind of like, what do I do to replace the time?
Yeah, you have a lot of free time, but like it's both good and bad. Cause
you're
like
in your thoughts.
You're in your head a lot. Like, did I make a mistake? Was that the right choice? I don't know what to do. Blah 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 blah. Especially when you don't have the support of people who you thought you would have the support from. Like, all that shit can just make shit even worse. But one thing I remind myself, you gotta remember who the fuck you are and where you're going. Like, at all times, and I remember who the fuck I am. I'm great. I'm gonna be great. All of us are gonna be great. That's why we're friends, of course. And so you just gotta keep reminding. And also hang out with like positive people. Hang out with your boys, people that's actually there for you and for you, like genuinely, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, positivity rubs off.
Exactly.
I always like to see the positive side of something. I'm not naive. I know the negative that's out there, and but I don't. I just deal with it. You know, you can't change it. There's some things you can change. One of the keys to happiness is just realizing you can only control what you can control. You can't control everything.
Exactly. That's facts.
And if you're focused on, man, this happened, this sucks, if it's out of your hands, like, what can you really do about it?
And also, happiness shouldn't be all about money all the time, too. Yeah, we need money to survive, to pay bills. Like, I get all that, but I feel like some people get so stressed on, like, trying to get it and trying to get the bag. I'm trying to do this, X, Y, Z, and you're not really living. You're not being happy. To me, bro, happiness is, like, hanging around y'all, like, people that, who I love and care about, making, like, memories, moments, traveling, like, doing shit like that. To me, that's happiness. Like, yeah, of course, like, once again, we want money and shit like that, but that's not everything, and that is always going to be the root of all evil, so people have to realize that as well. It's more to life than just that when it involves being happy.
Yeah, it's wild. But I mean, you're just sitting there thinking about everything, not even just like you said, thinking about work, or did you make a mistake, or the decision itself, but you just start thinking about other things too, because you have so much time to think about everything. And I mean, sometimes that's where you can find your creative peak.
Right.
I feel like those are the times that boredom actually kind of breeds creativity.
It does, because you have nothing else to do.
Look at Tyler the Creator. Boredom.
Boredom.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, I think when you're bored, you're like in an extreme kind of state. Just like extreme boredom or extreme like sadness. I won't say depression, because I've never experienced depression that I know of.
I think
like
we all
extreme sadness.
I think we all experience. I know me personally, I experienced depression, sadness, like all of this. But what I want to say is, Mike, back to what you said about like I think you said about the choice, happiness being a choice and all that, and like you can choose to be happy, sad, and all that shit. Yeah. And like I agree with that to a certain extent. And what I mean by that is like some people aren't mentally strong to like get out of their own head. 'Cause like some people, like, they will stay in that place. They won't, oh man, I gotta get out, I gotta get it, or whatever. They'll stay in that place for like a while. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like yes and no, that it is a choice, then it's not too. I was going somewhere with that actual point.
Well, and some people have actual, clinical depression, things like that. I don't mean, it's not the discount. That's not a choice. I get that. Things like that are certainly not a choice, and that shit's hard to even imagine. But
also, bro, like, the mind is a powerful fucking thing. Like, we can create shit that's not there sometimes. Like, I'm saying, like, people hallucinate or just see shit that's not there. It's because, like, your mind, the old saying, my mind's playing tricks on me or whatever. Like, that shit's accurate. So if you really strongly, I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but if you strongly try to think about like being positive and happy and like producing, good energy in the world, your mood will start to change. Like I noticed when I would like have to force myself to smile and talk to people when I don't feel like it, I would start feeling happier actually.
Your physiology matches.
Yeah.
I always come back to that poster right there.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. People laugh, make fun, whatever. I always look at that image, and the image is a blown up canvas of him on the sideline right after throwing that pick six in Super Bowl 51.
That was the Atlanta, right?
Yeah. 20-0, extra point makes it 21-0. Mm-hmm. But I remember watching the game and thinking, like, this is rock bottom. They're down 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. That is a ridiculous hole to try to get out of. I don't think they've got it. And they've got to kick the ball in the second half. Mm-hmm. Like, this shit could get worse, but this is already rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And it, in fact, did get worse. They ended up going down 28-3.
And Atlanta was the hottest team at the time, too. Like, the highest scoring offense.
They were just taking care of business, man. Mm-hmm. One of the key factors, Tevin Coleman got hurt. And once he got hurt, that kind of slowed their offense down. Yeah. But, I mean, look, what happened? Methodically came back, chipped away, and they ended up winning. But the reason why I look at this specific image, why am I looking at an image of him with his head hanging low, down 20-0, thinking it's the end of the world? It's because we've all been in that position where you're at your rock bottom, and you're just like, fuck.
Right. Yep. Fuck. What's next?
So what is next? Could it get worse? Yeah, it actually did. Like it got a little bit worse.
Right.
But he just chipped away one play at a time, and that's the cliche, but it's fucking true.
Yeah, he didn't give up.
You can't rush through things. You can't, if you're experiencing any kind of like sorrow, you can't. Well, I can't tell people what they can and can't do, but. Right. I don't
advise
that you rush away from it. I think you have to kind of process it.
You got to go through that pain, because with pain, beauty comes out at the end,
And if you hide from it or run from it, it can come back later and just never really. If you never face it, it lingers. Mm-hmm. It really is like a person that you have to talk to that's going to keep tapping you on the shoulder until you turn around and say what.
And also. Just to add on what you were saying, other than talking to like, yourself or whatever, like reach out to people too, because that helps out a lot. Like sitting in that, like, amongst yourself, being lonely, is going to keep you down even like more, So I know me right now, I'm going through some stuff, we all are to an extent, but reaching out, to like my loved ones, it helps a lot. It really does. Just like talking, like getting stuff out,
You have to have like a support
system. Exactly.
Yeah, you have to have a support system, but it strengthens you though. It does make you stronger.
It does.
You learn to be a little bit more craftful with that time.
Exactly.
Instead of just letting it sit to the side, you learn to appreciate it. I'll tell you, and I've told everybody, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, if I could create anything, it would be time.
Oh yeah, creating time, bro. Can you imagine if you can create time? Like how much shit that we can accomplish, or even more shit, like that'd be fucking wild.
That's the one thing that you can't make more of, and
it's
that's
time.
the one asset that I value more than any other asset.
Yeah,
money isn't happiness. Time to me is happiness.
I agree.
If I can acquire as much free time as possible, I'm happy because I can be creative in that time. I can relax if I've had a busy, tough week. I can,
time actually like makes a person sad. Could depend all your moods that you're in. Actually,
it really does.
Yeah, like if you're happy, sad, whatever. Because think about it, Sundays when that comes around, everybody's sad because all right, Monday's coming up, back to work, XYZ, yada yada yada. Versus like when you're off and you're creating or doing whatever it is that you're doing to it makes you happy. You're even more happy because I got 5 more hours to do this. Like cool, like it's no rush.
Yeah,
so like when you actually. That's why I think everybody should be entrepreneur to a certain extent, because like that's your own time to like create your own brand, your own shit. You're not being told what to do from a job or when to take a vacation or you can't get promoted because of this, because of that. Politics, as we all know, it's in every corporate job and also retail jobs. It's everywhere as long as you work. But having a fact, because I know me when I'm working on my pure style clothing or whatever it is, like editing videos, bro, I can do that shit for hours and like I'm happy doing that. I'm not sad. I'm not like, oh man, it sucks, or I'm just happy, you know. And then when I figure out or look up at the clock and I'm like, damn, I have like 4 or 5 more hours, like I'm even happier, you know, because that time is right there. So that's the point I'm making, man. Like, I think everybody should consider like doing their own project, like working on something outside of like your main job, you know.
Time is very controlling. You know, you can only do so many things. I like to do a lot of things, as basic and dumb as that sounds.
Yeah.
I'm just always trying to fill my time with something. I like knocking shit out. I like
because when you don't do shit, you feel like you're wasting like potential, you know, thoughts or ideas. Like, I know me, I'm the same way. If I'm not hitting goals or doing something, like I get sad or like, damn, like what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
you know,
you start to feel kind of like, and that laziness just becomes exponential. Where you're just like, ooh, I'm good.
Right.
But I mean, there are certain days where I'm just like, I'm just chilling today. I'm just relaxing. But I'm also one of those people, I have like that, I like delayed satisfaction. I like eating my favorite part of a dish. Like if I'm looking at a plate, like a dish, I like eating my favorite part at the very end. I save the best for last.
You gotta savor the flavor, man.
Yeah, so I feel like I like to also delay that reward for myself. Like I'll bust my ass in the beginning so that I have that free time later. So I think that's also why I'm like, oh shit, I have free time right now. Let me do a bunch of stuff so I have more free time later and I don't have to stress this. But it's, I mean, that you're right when you're saying you're constantly thinking about time, because my Sundays are just basically a schedule. My Sundays
meal prepping.
My Sunday is a part-time job.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up, I go to the gym, go to the grocery store, come home, meal prep,
walk the dog,
all that stuff, and it's to a T. I've got it scheduled basically in my head. It's muscle memory. But you got to get prepared for the week.
Can you let the listeners know what you told me when we were outside, what Giorgio told you when you know, about the inspirational stuff?
He was talking about
because you guys got to hear, because this was like dope.
Well, he was talking about that, getting out of your comfort zone, basically. Right. He's like, some people just go to their job and cook their meals and check their emails and drink their coffee, and I'm like,
that's most of like people in the world, though, you know. But like, that's so dope. Giorgio is Mike's. We talked about him before. It's Mike's other dad. He has 2 dads.
Stepdad.
Yeah, but they're not, you know, like that.
Yeah, I got my parents divorced.
No, yeah.
Kind of weird shit.
Yeah, hey man, at least you know your real daddy.
Hell yeah.
I don't really know mine's, you know. I'm fucking with you. I just took it there. Look at his face.
Because I was like, I feel like that was true up until recently. So I was like, wait, did that happen?
I'm fucking with you. I know the viewers were like, this nigga got deep.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know, start tearing. You were like my dad.
But the other part of that too is anxiety is all future based. The future isn't here. The present is here. Like, the present is here and now.
You gotta live in the now.
You can't stress about, you know, something that's going to happen, because you don't know if it's going to happen. And I mean, look, did Brady get anxious? Maybe a little bit. You need a little bit of stress.
Bro, I'm sure Brady, Kobe, all the greats, Jordan, Magic, they all go through shit. We never see it because they don't show it, of course, but they feel all those emotions. They're human just like us.
They've got mind control on themselves. They've got discipline. But I think it's also, he can't put those 20 points back. He can't pull them away. This is out of his hands now. Like,
so let me go
this
forward.
shit happened. Yeah, just go forward. If you're on the sideline, you know, because the defense is on the field, just watch. You can't do anything. They give up a touchdown. You're like, fuck, man. But it's like, all right, well, let me go do my job. That's the whole do your job. Like the whole, it's mentality. Real though. It's just focus on your shit. Don't worry about other people's stuff.
It's so simple, bro. Like, that's facts. Like, don't worry about the world. I think we get too caught up in social media sometimes, and or what everybody's doing, and they look happy, they're great in their careers. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing that you've heard before, I'm sure. All that shit is bullshit. Don't believe that. It's all false to an extent. Nobody's that damn happy, and if they are, cool. But nobody's ever gonna post and talk about like the bad shit they're going through ever. You always gonna see the good shit.
Ever see like that? Oh man, going through it.
No, I put shit like that. Because I'm a real person, you know. I want to see both.
You do
you know?
That shit.
Yeah, you know, because I'm just being honest. You know, I don't want you seeing all my wins all the time. You know.
But yeah, people are like, I don't know if people are as bad as they used to be.
Mhm.
Well, I think they still are, but now it just shifted social media. Now it's Instagram instead of Facebook. Now Instagram is basically look at like think about all the Chance always talk about all the Instagram models and
Thoughts,
shit, smart asses, look at me.
And I'm so glad that like shit is going away because that's gonna kill their fucking source of income with all the other shit that's going on. Like we talked about in the past how these women are making money lazily because they're capitalizing off their bodies, and that shit just makes me mad. It's like
they'll still find a way to sell it though, because they'll do screenshots of their own date, like metrics or whatever you want to call it. Like look, here's proof. Here's the receipt.
Yeah, I mean, women, get your money. Get your money, but I'm just salty about it. And I always will be, because it's like, I literally just bored at home, just taking pictures and getting paid from that shit. Do
you remember the internet in, I don't know, 98, or 2002, like
MySpace?
Well,
that's all I remember.
I mean, even before that, where like you just go on AOL and like
with the dial-up shit.
Yeah, the dial-up, and it was, I mean, you couldn't do much, but there was a while there where like everybody was getting invaded with like the pop-ups of like porn and nudes and all that kind of shit. Is that not kind of what's happened with Instagram with the Instagram models?
Nah, your facts, bro. Facts.
I mean, it's
even on like your like on the home story, you got all this shit coming up, and I know I don't know if it's based on like who you follow or what, but all these different shit, these IG models with the fake asses and fake lips and fake all that shit. I'm gonna be real with you, Mike. Like, their image right now comes from a black woman. And no, that's facts. And what I mean by that, like the African woman, black woman has the coldest body like ever, like to men. It's still gonna be that cold. It's naturally like that. And so like with all the big lips, who has naturally big lips? Us. Big nose, us. Big ass, us. Tan, us. So I just hate that everybody. Tans, I mean, it's cool, but just
tans,
tans, all the shit. Just take, and not really like respect it to an extent to where like I feel like if you're doing that shit, you have to be pro-black yourself. Like, you have to be. And pro-black doesn't mean that you have to be black to be that. You can be whatever color, but you just like support the cause or whatever's going on, or just being vocal. So yeah, man, it's we're some of the originators, man. Like all of us are originators in our own rights, different things, but I just want to put that out there.
Oh, for sure. It's funny. I was telling you when we were talking about Georgia, I was also talking about LeBron on The Shop, and how he was saying basically the same thing. You got to find you got to be uncomfortable, you got to grow. But he had on one of those episodes, he had Jimmy Iovine. I think it was Jimmy Iovine, and he was talking about black culture and how it's like the most under-respected or underrated influence like in the world,
because it's cool. Like,
because cool everybody, like you said, everybody, like there's always like
the music, the wardrobe,
looks.
Like I brought this up on a previous or prior podcast, but I think like with us, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. And somebody actually told me this too, like in a store, when I was working. He came in, he was like, like I love being black. And I was like, okay, like, cool. Like, but why, like, can you elaborate on that? And he was like, because, man, we just cool just in our DNA. Like we can look at something. You can take like a fucking pencil and put it in this corner right here, and we can be standing a certain way and looking at it a certain way, like we're very interested in it, even though we're not, but it's the way we are, that it's going to attract other people to come around and want to do the same thing because we're doing it. And I thought about that shit, and I was like, that's fucking deep. Like, we could a fucking pebble or a pencil or whatever and just be staring or some shit and like create some kind of like dance or just something cool about it. You know what I'm saying?
First video series of Don't At Me is going to be, I don't know, the culture something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something with Jock.
I think it's something with it. Yeah, but I was like,
culture shock with Jock.
Yeah, that'd be dope. But I'm like, man, that's fucking cool. Like, this dude is right. So I started thinking about that more, and like, you got to be true for like and love who you are, man. Like at all times. Like I love every color. Don't get it twisted. I love every color out there. I'm for everybody. But I brought this up too, Mike. I feel like a lot of people get upset when you're confident in like your culture or your race. Like they find it as coming off as cocky when it's not cocky, or like I'm belittling everybody else when I'm not. I just love the black race. because I am black. You know, if you're Puerto Rican or whatever, you love your Puerto Rican heritage, cool. I love that shit too. That's how like that's my mindset. You know. So it just confuses me when people get upset. Like, all right, I get it. All right, yeah, you're pro black, I get it, or whatever. It's like, no, why does that bother you?
I get it, Jog. Nah,
I get it. Yeah.
I do get it though, but nah, I'm kidding. No, what it comes from though is tribalism. Humans just tend to kind of like coyotes, like go in packs, and you assimilate with those that are like you. So we all kind of have it in our DNA to kind of assimilate with our own kind.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, you go to a new school, you already know, like, I don't know about, I mean, me, I can tell you right now, anytime I go to a new school, I'm like, where the bros at?
Yeah.
These are going to be my friends. Like, y'all are always my friends. I'm like, where they at?
Yeah.
And I go scope the scene and go pop, sit with them.
I
assimilate with those that I identify with.
You relate more, exactly.
Yeah, we have the same interest in
music,
movies,
everything.
Music, all that kind of shit. Yep. But the other part of that is black and white. And when I say that, I mean literally the colors. People like to make things so black and white instead of just knowing that everything is gray. Right. Everything's gray area. Like, everything in life, there's never anything there's very rarely something that's going to be very black and white. That's just this or that. And the thing is, I think people try to make things this or that, and they decide, okay, I'm this, you're that. We're on opposite sides. My job is to convince you. Oh, I can't convince you. Fuck you. I'm going to offend you. Nah, like
automatically
listen to the other side.
Right.
I'm very gray. I'm very much, I like to hear every angle. I see almost sometimes to a fault, I'm a devil's advocate. Like, I talked about this in the stand-up.
Right.
Where I said, I'm devil's advocate. I see, but on the
Both
other
sides.
hand.
On the other side.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's
but if you think about it this way.
I think you have to think that way because some people are going to fall on one side or the other.
Right.
Understand their side. You don't have to agree, but respect their opinion.
Respect it. Yep. I agree.
If they don't respect yours, you can't control that. That's unfortunate. They're the idiot in that situation. Kill them with kindness.
Right. You can't
let them... They look stupid to everybody else.
Exactly. You can't let them get you down, too, just because somebody doesn't agree with you. Like, cool. You want people not to agree with you on everything, because if we all agreed on every single thing, it would be a boring-ass world.
And that's the world we're trying to make, though.
We are.
That's the world we're trying to make. Everybody agree about everything. No conflict about anything. We're all the same gender. We're all the same ethnicity. We're all the same. I understand, like, the togetherness.
Yeah.
But what makes a human is uniqueness.
Exactly. Thinking for yourself.
And it comes back to you saying pride. I think when people hear pride, there are good and bad kinds. There are the kind that are like, I'm proud and fuck everybody else. And that can be on both sides, white, black, Asian, Hispanic.
Right,
like everybody has
brown.
Every race has people that are racist against other kind of races. It just happens.
Right.
That's the extreme. But I think when those people say things like that, it diminishes the value of somebody saying like black pride. Or like Black Lives Matter.
I remember that, yeah.
Black Lives Matter. I mean, I'm not black, obviously, but I get it.
You still support it, though.
And I get it. Well, I get it, like, from the black perspective, it's, hey, we matter. We're here. We've been the victims of a lot of the shit that you all have seen now in front
publicly,
of the nation.
Forever.
And nothing's happening about it. Like, we matter, too. But then the polar opposite becomes... Well, we all matter. It's almost like...
And that's so stupid, bro. I hated that when they said that shit.
And I think part of it comes from... You do have some that take that label and they don't have, like, the altruistic view of it. Maybe it is like, fuck everybody else. Like, look, I understand that you feel isolated. I understand that you feel alone. And I'm sorry for what others have done. But... like, don't take it out on me. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Problem is, everybody has to put a label on something. They have to make it black and white. And again, the color is black and white. Like, oh, they said this, they must be pissed.
Right.
It's like, no, if they said this, maybe they're frustrated. Try to empathize. Empathy is the key to humans getting along.
Yeah, and I agree, Mike. And my thing about that is, we got to talk to each other more. Don't just assume stuff. Like, figure out why this person's feeling this way, or like, or whatever reaction you're getting. Like, sit down and actually talk to them. Like, have some one-on-one feedback. I hate using that word because it just reminds me of
feedback.
Yeah, but just have like some time to really
coaching,
development. But yeah, have some time to really like see, you know, this person like, okay, why did they say that? And then like I feel like if we as a nation could do that more, we'll be in a better situation, or we'll like keep trending towards that situation to where like, okay, we really won't be in a world where we just assume stuff all the time. We get defensive and like overly sensitive about stuff and like being petty about this, petty, you know, just to me, like, why do you want to put energy in that? It makes no sense, personally, you know?
Well, at its core, prejudice is so fucking stupid, and it feeds more prejudice. But you're black, I'm white and Hispanic.
Right.
We're not the same ethnicity. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why somebody would care about that.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's why when you're
different, like, okay, my perspective, I'd like to learn more about your culture.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand. And I'm not gonna come up like a fucking kid in a classroom, like, hey,
mister,
tell me all
right?
this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chill with you. I'm gonna observe your culture, but I'm curious about. I like to see. I like to explore. You know, I like to experience. We talked about travel. I like to see. Okay, let me see what you're about.
Exactly.
And you're like, maybe you're like, oh, I like this food. I'm like, oh, I don't fuck with that, but
I respect that
cool.
you like that food. Mm-hmm.
Like, why would I care? Like, oh, that's fucking, you idiot.
We can't be friends now. Fuck you.
You idiot. You're disgusting. It's like, what? Like, it's ignorance.
Makes no sense.
It's ignorance. Mm-hmm. But it creates so much defensiveness, justified defensiveness, because there's so much of it still prevalent out there. You have to kind of operate like, shit, man, I gotta, not that you want to walk around like you have a target on your back, but you don't know, man.
You want to be aware too.
This world's fucking crazy. So
crazy.
I understand, like, I cannot be, you know, I feel where you're coming from. I don't know what it's like to be black, but I understand, like, that feel of, fuck, man, like, at any given time
something can happen.
Somebody could be crazy. Shit all just seems to happen. I mean, even if it is all fucking accidents, like, all right, after a while, so many accidents happen,
you remember,
with the same
bro,
people.
You remember back in
that's kind of strange,
right? You remember, Mike? I'm gonna take us down like back on a journey. You know, back in history. You remember when we were walking in your mom's neighborhood? Remember, I had my hoodie on and we were just walking, like, I think drinking 40s. And
well, I don't think we did, but I don't think we had them with us.
Yeah, we have us with. But can you explain like what happened, Mike, like to the listeners out there?
Well, in somewhat fairness, it was like 11 p.m. and we were walking around with fitteds on and shit. But
this was like 2000 and what was it, 2009, right, or 2008?
I think it was like 08. Yeah, Team
right.
Ego, the origin.
Oh yeah, Team Ego.
Hey, it might have been. It might have been like fall 07 actually.
I remember that was a good ass night. We drank Coronas at your mom's house and ate, watched Hood Horse. That shit was awesome, man. Let's go back in time to do that again.
Well, we were just walking around out there in the neighborhood, walking on the sidewalk, and a cop pulled up. Hey, where are you guys at? I think did he check my ID, like, to make sure we lived there?
Yes.
So, oh, okay. And I'm like, what's up with you? I'm like, somebody must have seen, like, oh, there's a black guy and his friend. He looks kind of ethnic too.
Yeah. And then, bro, remember they made us fucking walk the line.
At Cy Falls, you remember that?
No, back on that, when we got stopped in the neighborhood. So they made us do like the little sobriety test walk. And the cop was like, all right, so walk in a straight line for me and like don't veer off. And so I'm like, damn, this is like, we're not drunk, you know, at all. We're just kids walking. And this dude's doing the fucking most, like, bright ass lights. Didn't turn them down. They're just flashing on us though. Remember in the car? I remember that. And then we have to walk a straight line. So yeah, we definitely got profiled. Like, and that was the start of like,
wouldn't it be some shit if, like, all of a sudden when you were walking, he started, like, crip walking next to your son? Like, hey, you on the hidden camera show. Over there.
And then fucking crowd comes out.
No, but what if he did that and then he goes, psych, and he goes, y'all are under arrest.
Gotcha.
Like, what?
Yeah, I knew you were gangbangers. Imagine, I'd be so fucking bad.
Nah, the worst was Cy Falls. We went to try to go visit our teachers, and they acted like we were, like, gonna destroy the school, and they're like, freeze! The cops were like, what are you doing? We're like, we're trying to see our teacher. Like, why didn't you check in at the desk? And she wouldn't let us. She wouldn't let us. We're like, she wouldn't let us go.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are going to jail.
Bro, it was like 4 people. So it was 3 of us at the time.
Ridiculous.
And they were on the little walkies running, and like it was some big ass.
We were literally
ordeal.
going to see our teacher.
And we
literally were.
That's it. And we don't look intimidating at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm skinny as hell. Like, we don't look intimidating at all. So it was just a big ass scene to make a point.
The teacher was expecting us. It wasn't a surprise. Lady at the front desk was like, no, you can't see her. And we're like, she's expecting us. She told us to come. What are you talking about? You can't give us a pass? We were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're going to go anyway. We go up the stairs.
Freeze! And then the funny thing, they took our mug shots at a high school. Said that we're banned for life. The dude was like, you know what? We can't find a transport for you guys. This is around Thanksgiving, by the way.
He's like, y'all are lucky. Y'all would have been here until Monday. This was like Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Or something
And
like
one
that.
of our other friends, like, he started crying. Like, he was shook at the time. Like, oh, my God.
He was shook.
And I was just mad. You know, I was just like, man, what the fuck? Like, we knew he was bullshitting, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so when he let us leave, he told us just to keep walking. Like,
he's gonna walk us till
in a
gonna watch
direction.
until he can't see us anymore.
Like, what kind of shit is that? You know, we're kids at the time still, you know?
Wild West.
Just keep walking. He had his cowboy hat on
ridiculous,
and shit.
man.
Texas.
Yeah, Cyprus, right?
Yeah.
So, other current events, coronavirus. What's up with it, Jock? You talking about it?
Man, I'm talking about that shit, man. I'm all for it, man.
Coronavirus.
You know, I love getting fucking tipsy. I'm fucking with you. But no, seriously, that it's a stigma right now. The coronavirus.
Stigma? What do you mean?
So I'm gonna tell you. Of course, it's bad, but it was actually the flu was actually killing more people than the coronavirus was. Coronavirus is not a new thing; it's actually been around. If you actually pick up a Lysol can and turn around, you will see coronavirus on there.
What?
Yeah, no, it's been there forever. Nobody just never knew. Just like the broom thing, how you can stand the broom up by itself. Like shit's been here forever. We're just not finding out. So I think everybody's overreacting to something new. Like,
People are dying. I mean, to be fair,
but people
look,
die from the flu too. So I'm saying like the
Yeah.
flu's taken out, more people than the coronavirus. Coronavirus, it resurfaced once again. So it's like we don't have enough like vaccines for it like yet. But I think people are just overly freaking out. And also if you're unhealthy and you're older, yeah, you have to kind of worry if you have a weak immune system. But if you're somewhat healthy, you have nothing to worry about, man. Of course, like still take like precautions. I'm not saying that at all. Like still like do the mask if you travel, wipe shit down. But I think we're making a bigger deal out of it than what like it really is.
I mean, I think it's a big deal, but it's not. I mean, I'll agree with you. I'm not like dropping everything and like freaking out. I think we're good for now. Who knows? But
and the coronavirus may be man-made too. That's another thing we can get into
Conspiracy
later.
theory.
Yeah, it could be like the government just, hey, let me throw this out there. But yeah, I digress.
man, nah. But you know what? Every time I see somebody cough or sneeze, I'm kind of like, hey, watch out, motherfucker. Especially if they don't cover it. And the other thing too, like the people that are binge sneezers, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They sneeze like 15 times in a row.
Bro, I hate that, especially when you're at work and somebody's sneezing on you. Oh, it's the
Bruh,
fucking
hey,
worst.
if you sneeze more than twice, you're selfish. I'm gonna explain. If you sneeze once, you get your bless you.
Right.
Sneeze twice, you'll get like the bless you.
Like fuck, you're gonna
You
sneeze
alright?
again? I mean, goddamn.
You have to throw in like the all right there.
Are you good?
After the third one, stone cold silence. You don't get shit. You don't exist to me anymore. You keep doing that, driving me crazy. It's like, nah.
I will say some people actually have a problem though where they can't help sneezing. I forget the name of it, but I don't have a friend.
I might have gone a little bit overboard there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. But yeah, some people they can't control it.
Yeah. It is just like.
But when it's sneezing like snot coming out, that's when it's. It's like fuck, man. Like sneezing your nose.
You're face to face with people at your job before, so you probably got.
Bro, I had so many clients
interceptions of cough all the time.
sneeze on me, bro. Like sneezing, they don't say shit. Like I'm sorry, excuse me. They just sneeze and don't cover shit up. Just like oh yeah, so yeah, it's computer. Blah, blah. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? It's snotting and all the noises, and I'm like, bro, I'm a germaphobe too at that. And so instantly, bro,
You see people coughing.
my mood
Their
changes.
tongue out.
Yeah, so what I used to do, I used to like always step back when they do that. I get quieter. Like I'm just like stop talking, and they're like, "Dang, are you okay?" Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just I think somebody's actually calling me. Actually, can you give me like 10, 15 minutes? No, just leave.
I would. Just
Nobody's
walk
calling
away.
me at all, bro. I'm just saying that shit in my little headset, and I just walk off, and I'm like cussing them out in my head, like fucking nasty ass bitch.
I will say this though, I've been the hardest. I feel like the hardest mall to navigate through and as busy is Memorial City.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the hallways are very narrow,
Mm-hmm.
if it's busy, and it usually is, it's hard to get through. Like the Galleria is big enough, you can get around. Suburb malls, they're never that busy.
I think Katie Mills is big. No one ever goes there though.
I want to go get some Nikes, some nice Nikes, man. I'm due. I need to get some.
Yeah, me too. I need to get some.
That's where I got those Blue Forces.
Because you find like really good prices.
Yeah,
there.
but it is funny though. Like I've done before where like I've had errands to run, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to navigate. And I just walk. I even had like a coworker once say that they saw me at the mall and like looked right at me and they're like, "Hey, Mike."
And you just kept walking.
And I walked right by him. I didn't even. I was like, "You saw me?" I was like, "I didn't even. What are you talking about?"
It's
like,
so busy and loud.
And there. I know people. I recognize people. I never forget a face. I always say hi to people, even if I barely know them. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I don't even remember seeing you. So that's how determined I was. But it got to a big cluster. I was healthy as hell. I wasn't sick at all, but I just started like fake coughing. People parted like the Red Sea and Moses.
Oh, hey, that's smart.
They just skirt. I was like, yes.
That's smart. I never thought about that.
Clever.
Especially
Life
now,
hacks.
if you fake cough, they really gonna be, oh shit.
I get nervous as hell when I see people with masks on their face.
Mm-hmm. That mask, I like.
I guess you're containing it, but. I'm like, what are you trying to contain? I guess they're concerned that they don't catch something.
Well, they're not.
Like,
so with the mask, it's not necessarily contained.
It makes me paranoid.
So when you see people with masks, like, in Asia or wherever, it's because they're not trying to get sick.
Right.
Yeah.
My thought, though, is if you had to wear that, you're probably somewhere that was susceptible to that. You might have it. I'm glad you're wearing it because you're coughing your carrier shit into the mask.
And then, too, it can be like pollution. It's all other sorts of things why they
but
wear
I always
it,
get kind of nervous, though.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
That's the one thing that I'm like, I'm going to try to keep my
I used to get nervous back in the day when I'm like, because I just feel like, oh, you wearing a mask, you got to be sick, or like, what's wrong with this fucking person? Like when I was younger, but now I'm older, I realize what it is. But I feel you.
I mean, it doesn't matter what race. If I see anybody, I'm like,
you think they just got admitted from the hospital or some shit or something's going on? Yeah.
That shit is wild.
Crazy.
That's why you got to take your vitamin C. I take antihistamines. I have to take Zyrtec. My allergies are always shit here in Houston.
My allergies actually, since I haven't been, like, my allergies have actually been good, bro. Now think about it. I don't sneeze nearly as much.
It's been a better year, I feel like, than years
I think because I'm not always, like, around all those fucking people and shit anymore. Like, I don't feel like I'm sneezing as much. And, like, I don't feel like as sick, if that makes sense,
I can feel that, yeah. And like I said, I haven't had as many issues the last few months as that same period of time years past. But you go to different like climates and how that kind of screws you up. It's like, man, I don't even know. Like I went to Utah, it was so dry, so arid that just catch nosebleeds every now and then.
Oh, you would? I probably would too, actually.
I had one, and then Emily got one. So because it's so like high altitude, dry. But it got to the point where I was getting like those scab boogers, because it's so dry. Then I come back here, and it's just like, like that. That is the one thing we hate, the humidity. But when you go away from it, it's hard to adjust.
Especially in like when you're going to those areas when it's freezing fucking cold. Yeah. Like Utah, I only can imagine. I fucking hate Utah. First of all, like I align with Vernon Maxwell. I feel like Utah is just a shit place. I haven't been there. I'm sure it's probably pretty and shit like that, but I just can't fuck with Utah, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I want to go because skiing and Sundance.
Well,
but that's it, really.
I have to go for the Sundance.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah,
we did talk about that. Just curious to see it again. I feel like I didn't get the full. Yeah. I feel like it was like the Thanos snap, and this is the next year we're trying to go back and actually defeat it.
I'd rather go to Toronto or like Canada, which we might do in May. Hopefully,
yes, we might.
Stay tuned.
Shout out Alan.
Yeah.
That's all I've got on my docket this week, Jock. Anything else you had on your mind?
That's it, man. This is a good conversation. Like, this is a good one. Once again, guys, that's been supporting me in my situation and journey and everything. I appreciate you guys, like more than you know. I am, starting to get my creative juices flowing again, so you will see some stuff. I'm not going to say too much, but some stuff coming out really soon, so just stay tuned for that.
Check us out. We're on Twitter at @podcastatme, on Instagram at The Rep Network. Subscribe, follow, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play. You name it, we're on there. Check us out. Tell your friends. Rate, review, etc. Peace.
I think that was a good one, actually.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.